Hello,
Nice.
everyone. Welcome to Voices of the Force. We are happy that everyone has joined us. So please welcome our first host of today, the second day of the virtual gathering, Antwoine Wiley and Michael Bark, who hail from Jedi Atlas.
Good day, everyone. Good day. I know there are quite a few of us from different countries, even different continents here today, right? So I'm
Exactly.
I'm in Italy. I'm in Italy. Antoine, where are you right now?
I am in Germany, so I guess for both Michael and myself, it's going into evening, whereas everyone else may be enjoying a nice coffee.
Good.
Exactly,
Corvo,
exactly, exactly.
getting a little feedback of Corvo. Can everybody see the screen that I'm sharing?
Yep.
Yep.
Correct. Yes.
Awesome, awesome. Because
Yeah, all cool for me. All
I got
cool.
sort of this weird setup right now where I'm kind of looking almost everywhere right now. So I can't see exactly who's seeing that screen. Perfect, perfect. Michael, do you want to introduce the presentation? Should I do it? It's up to you. Me and Michael kind of flow back and forth, so we don't script a lot of things. We kind of just roll with what's happening, and I guess that's the easiest way to make sure it's authentic.
Yeah, that's true. That's what we try to do. We try to keep these things as authentic as possible. Well, let me just start off. So what we're trying to do here is to have our. This is the first time that I've actually done anything on Zoom, hosted anything, co-hosted, especially with my partner in crime, Antoine. So it's a bit of an experiment. We've called it episode one because we're hoping to go on and do other episodes, other meetings, other discussions over the year. So let's just see how this goes, right? It isn't a one person speaking or a two-person speaking event. Um, we envisioned it, and we hope it will work as a discussion, as a round table, right? We're just all here. We're all in some way inspired by the Jedi, whether you call yourself Jedi inspired or Jedi realist or simply Jedi, right? We're all inspired by them, by their myth, by their story, by their legend. And so it's just cool sometimes just to stand around the virtual campfire and just rap about it, just talk about it.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, I think it's very
Antoine, you
similar
want
to
to
these.
add anything?
I think it's very similar to like Dharma talks and things of that nature, where it does mean something when you get people that sort of follow the same sort of belief system or the same sort of vibe, and you get them in a room and you start talking about things that you enjoy about it or things that you have on your head. I mean, it's one thing to type on Facebook or type on a any other website or platform, but it's another thing when you actually get the people together and you kind of work with that energy that's in the room. And for me, it's kind of like a celebration of what we've been up to, how far we've come, the people that we've connected with, and where we might be going in the future. And so, I mean, we've timed this one to about an hour to just do kind of a Q and A around the board. And I mean, there's no right or wrongs. I mean, there's no you have to be the person who represents the official authority of what everything is. We're just talking. I mean, it's just a conversation. It's just about putting whatever it is out there that you want to, and then enrolling with that.
If I
Yeah,
can
true
throw in
words,
one
true
thing.
words.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
So I think that one thing that you touched on, which both intersects and also kind of veers away, is the concept of community. We're forming a community here of people. We might have very different ideas of what being a Jedi is or isn't, but you can say I believe X, Mike says I believe Y, I might say I believe Z, and we might disagree, but at the very least, we can respect that someone's coming from a different position and maybe, hey, why do you think that? We want to understand, or maybe, well, I disagree, but I see where you're coming from, and creating a bridge. But the ability to create dialogue, the ability to get together like this is forming a community, and community is how people grow stronger. They grow with different ideas. They grow through dialogue. That has actually been very much made organically apparent for me this year. I got deeper both into the tea community, the classical fencing community, and the Chinese martial arts community in California and in Colorado. And everywhere I go, I'm seeing groups of people that might not have anything in common, but this one relatively small thing, but it
Hmm.
brings people together. It creates groups, and it brings out passion or thought or insight into people. And in my opinion, that's a beautiful thing.
Exactly.
Exactly,
Exactly.
exactly. And it's the one thing. That's why I like to say, in one way or another, we're all Jedi inspired, right? However different we are in different respects, in particular respects, we're all inspired by Jedi story. And as Darcy said, I just popped up. As Darcy said in the chat, positive regard, isn't it? That's what it is. Positive regard,
It
guys.
is.
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's
Hmm.
it.
Hmm.
Great phrasing.
All right. Um, Antoine, do you want to go to the next slide? Right.
I'm
So,
in there. I'm way ahead of you, brother.
nice one, man. Nice. Always, always. All right. So, I'm on my phone, right? So I can't exactly. I just realized I can't exactly read very well what the slide says, but
It's
these
okay. If you want, I'll go through it. It's
these
up to you.
go for it. Go for it.
No,
Go
no
for it.
worries. Good. I mean, just a few ground rules, just so that we're all on the same page. I mean, again, it's just a conversation. We're just talking, so there's no authority here, one way or the other. But we invite everyone just participate at whatever level feels comfortable. If that's in chat, fair enough. If you just want to throw some thumbs up or some hearts or whatever you like, throw that up. I mean, it's up to you. Whatever level you like. Some people prefer talking. Some people prefer chat. It is really up to you. Do it whatever way you want. The second point there is just background. I mean, if there's a railway train in your background or an airplane landing, I mean, you can go ahead and mute if you need to, or else just keep your mic on and just jump in as you want. That's fine as well. I mean, third point, feel free to ask questions. I mean, ask me and Michael. If you have questions about how we think about things, go ahead and ask us as well. It's not just about us fielding questions toward you and finding out what your opinion is. You can also throw another question that pops in your head back at us, and then we'll jump in there as well. Next point is use the time wisely. I mean, I guess we are trying to keep this one in an hour, maybe a little bit over an hour if it comes down to it, but just use the time wisely. As I mean, we need to kind of roll through a couple of these questions. And we don't want to just get bogged down on just one of them. And lastly, of course, don't forget to have fun. If you have a joke, throw it out there. If we're having a good time. So, I mean, it's just lighthearted on your side. I know a lot of times people jump online, or sometimes we get into that position where we kind of just all get really, really stiff and kind of try to go Yoda the whole way through. And I mean, it doesn't really work out. So we keep it lighthearted and just let it flow, let it roll how it rolls out. I mean, no one's judging anything that we're up to. You good with that, Mike?
Yeah, all cool, all cool, 100%. And where is the little Yoda? Where is the little man? We had an image of him. Is he
Oh.
still there? Oh, there he is. Can't do it without the little man.
There we go.
All right, can't do it without him.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay,
Let's roll.
so with that, we're going into the first batch of questions, which I believe is a personal motivations, right? Personal motivation.
Good, good.
Why we are here, where our origins came from, that kind of our origin stories, right? So
Hmm.
what is the question number one? All right. What first you drew toward exploring a Jedi inspired path in your everyday life. Well, if I just jump in, right? If I just jump in, I was a little kid, 7 years old, in beginning of 1978 when I went to 6 years old when I went to see the first Star Wars film at the cinema with my dad. Just blew me away, man. Just totally blew me away. Obviously, so my entire childhood was just it was just Star Wars and Jedi, you know. And then I carried it on. Obviously, during the teenage years, I lost that a little bit. But then I came back. The Jedi and Star Wars have always been a part of my life, and more, um, I just find it so inspiring. So
How'd you
that's
get into
me.
the how'd you get into the Jedi community though? How'd you get into this whole thing, um, this whole sort of organic community that
Yeah,
we have?
yeah, cool. Yeah, cool question, bro. For me, it was when my now wife was pregnant with our first child. My eldest child, my son. Um, so that was 25 years ago, and um, reflecting on those parenthood things. What am I going to teach my child? How can I inspire goodness, etc., etc. And then I found the forums, the online Jedi forums, right? And it was from there. It was from back in the days, before
Mhm.
Facebook, before all of that. And we had the Jedi forums. Jedi, I can't even remember. Not False Academy. I wasn't really there. Um, Jedi Academy, Jedi Creed, all of those old time forums. And I was there. It was from that moment, really. It was from that moment. Um,
Mhm.
how about some of you? Let me hear. Let me hear. How about some of you?
You
How
threw
did
out
you
the
get
name
into
Jedi Creed. Man, that is so old. That's older than me.
That's
it?
that's before my time.
That's before my time. Not by much before my time, but it is before my time.
I was there. Love that. Love that.
Jedi at the New Millennium, all kinds of ones.
Yeah, there was
Hey,
so many
Jason,
forums back in the day.
So I
Back in
guess
the
since I
day.
piped up, I'll go next.
go
The
ahead.
old fogey I am.
Super.
Does that work with women? Do we call ourselves old fogies?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can.
you can call
Fogey
yourself
can be
whatever you
used.
like.
So, I actually am not a fan of Star Wars. I'm the odd one out. I got in because I
Get
was
out
going
of here.
through a very significant real quick. There we go. I was going through a significant spiritual situation. I don't really tell the story that often, but know that it basically was I was pagan. I had an I had an event, a supernatural event that caused me to question whether or not I should go back to Christianity or stay
Mhm,
pagan.
mhm,
I could not find the answer on my own. I had a friend. I was back in high school. It was like 16 years old when the whole thing started. And my friend started working with me through high school. By about the time that our school year was out, so about a month before I turned 17, she's like, "Listen, I know these people. They can help you, and
Mhm.
they can help you better than me." Of course, we're both high schoolers trying to figure it out. She's actually like a year and a half younger than me. So she sits me down, sits me in front of the computer, and says, "Here, sign up." And I look at this place called Force Academy. Not the same as what it used to be, but at the time, um, we looked at it, and I was like, I don't like Star Wars, right? And she's like, Just listen to me. It's not like that." I'm like, "What? No, that says Star Wars everywhere. There's like talking about Jedi in the fiction." Star Wars stuff. No, just trust me. You have to get into the forum. This is 2002, April 2nd or April 14th. 2002. So it was actually about a half a month before I turned 17. And I'm like, okay, fine. So she would have me come over ever so often to her house or her apartment. And we would read over lectures. I was signed up, but no one really knew me. On occasion, I would go in there and I would post anonymously to see if I could get any, because back then forums allowed you to post anonymously. It doesn't do that anymore. But I would post anonymously to get insight on things because I didn't want anybody knowing who I was. It was back during the whole if you're younger, people are going to kidnap you when they find you, and everybody can find you if you're on the internet kind of thing, whatever. So I would post questions and whatnot, and I would get answers, and it blew me away because it wasn't so heavy on the Star Wars. That's actually what got me to say was that it wasn't so heavy on the Star Wars. It was more about what we are collectively experiencing together and the wealth of information we can get. Now, what made FA unique to my circumstance was that they had dark aspect people who followed the Sith path. It was not what it was today. Today, it's not the same. That said, it evolved over time too and got better in my opinion. And then when certain people left it it went out the window. But uh, even then, they say that there was other things that we didn't see. But the conversation between them and the light aspect, the people who at the time were not the Jedi, believe it or not, it was the shadow aspect that was the Jedi. Uh,
Mhm.
the play between them really helped me understand the value of uh, free will and how that plays out in our world. It had helped me understand how a God that is all good can still allow evil into the world. In fact, yesterday when we were doing the class, if anybody didn't catch it, definitely watch kind of what we did with Aether's applied ethics. Kind of relates to that concept of autonomy, allowing for autonomy, benevolence, non-maleficence, and I forget the fourth one, but it all relates in. And all these conversations because I was in the Jedi community, and I've stayed ever since because I wanted to contribute that back to people. Justice. Sorry,
Mhm.
that's it. Justice was the last one. Thank you,
Fair
Aether.
enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Anybody else want to jump in there? How did you get your
Um,
little tippy toes into the Jedi community?
I'll throw in.
Go
Um,
ahead.
so I've been a martial artist since I was 7 years old. I actually got into it via therapy. Mike, that whole thing of, oh, they were born sickly and martial arts made them strong. I'm another one of those tales. But Empire Strikes Back actually got me into fencing, and that got me into a whole world of very divisive opinions about, well, fencing as a martial art or fencing, as a sport. And it just exposed me to you can have a very simple thing, a very simple conception like this is fencing, but you can have wildly different takes. And that was just fascinating for me. And so I'd go through all of these fencing schools with the Cloud City fight in the back of my head.
Hmm.
And over time, as I got into other martial arts, it became more philosophically grounded. So like the whole thing she was talking about of, you have light side versus dark side in a group and there's debate. I feel like when people feel comfortable being able to debate, that creates a stronger community rather than when voices are, pushed
Exactly.
down, right?
Hierarchies. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm not necessarily opposed to hierarchy. I'm opposed to the idea that you can't challenge an opinion.
Hmm.
Like Mike, Antoine, I hold both of you in very high regard. I will throw out my opinion. And if you say, hold on, I disagree with you on X, I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, I'm open. I'm listening to that, you
Hmm.
know? And it's like, I think that being able to, like, okay, here's a quote unquote authority there's someone you should listen to. Maybe not someone that you can't question. Well, no, I don't think that you should never be afraid to question authorities. And
Hmm.
ironically, that did get me into people that were like, doing like my most recent lightsaber teacher was a Sith, and I disagreed with them heavily on many philosophical ideas, not technical ideas. The technical ideas were sound, but philosophically, like what gives someone the right to use violence, for example. They were talking your point on, having a spiritual thing and questioning, do I stay in this position? Do I go to something else? I feel like that struggle is key to the human experience. And as I was doing different martial arts and different forms of, I'd say I got more philosophical frameworks.
Hmm.
And I just over time found the Jedi framework to be a more rational and more philosophically grounded framework than the Sith framework as
Hmm.
I saw it. And so I
Yeah,
just sort of
yeah.
like, okay, let me talk to some Jedi, let me talk to some Sith. And then more and more, I just built up what I think is a good framework. Now,
Hmm.
you say, here's what I found, here's my experience. That's your framework, and that's just as legitimate. I think it's one of those things of there are broad strokes, but then you need to fill in the gaps with what your, for lack of a better term, art is. I'm a martial artist. I'm going to be very focused on those. Uh, I agree, Aether. Thank you. I feel like it's most important to take things that, like, what's that, the whole thing of Jeet Kune Do, absorb what is useful and throw away what is useless. It doesn't mean that
Yeah,
what
yeah,
is
yeah.
useless is inherently useless. It just might be useless for me. Antwoine comes along, is
Mhm.
like, well, it's useful for me if I make this tweak. Mike comes along and knows, no, this is core to me, but for me
Hmm.
it's useless. And that's one of
Hmm.
those
Yeah,
things
yeah,
of,
yeah.
we can
Hmm.
agree on the broad strokes, but everyone brings a bit of themselves. And for
Hmm.
me, the practice, no, unlearn. I agree, Aether. Unlearn is unlearning what's it, everything that you take with you. What's in the
Hmm.
cave is your baggage. It's what you bring with you. I absolutely agree. And we do.
Hmm.
We need to challenge our own conceptions. We need to challenge, okay, I've had this idea of X. Let's see if it even holds up to scrutiny. And
Hmm.
when I'm
Yeah, yeah,
going
yeah.
through life, sorry, what was that, Mike?
No, correct. No, I was complete agreement. We have to unlearn. We have to challenge all our own beliefs to see if they hold water. Absolutely,
Hmm.
absolutely,
Hmm.
absolutely.
I saw a couple other hands up. At that time, I know Robin's in there, Darcy's in there. Um, Up to you guys. Somebody jump in there.
Oh, I just saw the hand icon. Sorry, I didn't use that.
That's okay. No worries at
Apologies.
all. No worries.
I'll jump in.
Yeah, go ahead.
For
Go ahead, Combo. Corvo.
I'd say for me, it was probably when I was like 5 or 6 years old, and my parents. One of the times I was just hanging out, and my father put in Star Wars episode New Hope, and just seeing that, and then like Chris said earlier, blew them away, and
Yeah,
my
yeah.
father introduced me to the whole Jedi saga, and paying attention to that and seeing how Luke struggled. He tried his best to do what he thought was right, and yes, he made some mistakes and he screwed up, and he got in a bunch of trouble because he thought he knew right, but because he did decide to question, but he did live with the consequences, and he
Understandable.
grew from that and tried to become a better Jedi, a better person.
Hmm. Hmm. I'm with you.
And for many, many
Yeah.
years, I've enjoyed all of the concepts of Star Wars, the Old Republic, all of the extended universe stuff, as Sophia and I have gotten into debates on characters, and she will attest for the
I
mythos.
know.
And for but all of that, seeing those characters come to life, seeing the virtues
Yeah.
or the flaws or everything those characters embody, and trying to say, I would like to be that. I would like to be this
Exactly.
humble person. I would like to be this giving person who helps all without expecting anything, just because it's the right thing to do.
Exactly. No more
Yeah.
true words could be said. Exactly. I
Here,
agree with that.
here.
I agree with that completely. Want to let Robin or Darcy in?
I
Yeah,
can
there you
You
go.
go.
guys hear me?
There we go.
Oh no,
Oh,
go Darcy, go Darcy.
no, sure. Okay. Um, so I joined back in 2016. I'd always felt a little bit like I always found religion a little bit strange because it's
Mhm.
like I was very hardcore on like I was like very like right up until like 2014 I was on mission trips, so I was
Wow.
very hard into my religion, but I always felt like, okay, but how do I know it's the right one?
Right.
So when I left, when I not when I left, I witnessed things and I realized, okay, this isn't the faith for me. It's time to move on. I wasn't looking for a faith per se. I was actually looking for a career path, and I thought I was looking at going into fashion design.
I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah. You said that a couple times.
yeah. Looking at fashion design, I was like, oh, you know what my favorite fashion is? Star Wars. I love Star Wars fashion. So I was looking it up, and I come across the Jedi of Ryle. It's a Welsh. He's a Welsh Jedi. Um, but he was known at the time for dressing up in full Jedi garb all the time. Um, Bit of a divisive figure, but I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, I wouldn't say people should go around dressing as Jedi all the time, but like, whatever. That's cool. It was in the
That's the thing.
comments that I found a gentleman, Akarin, representing the Temple of the Jedi Order. He's like, oh, this guy's not he's not representative of what we do. If anyone's reading this and they want to learn more, go here. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll go see what these guys are about. Joined in, started on the IP program. I think it was shortly after that the Doctor Strange movie came out, October of that year. And I don't know, it just sort of really maybe like the whole teach me scene was sort of like, oh, yeah, maybe I should actually be like studying, like really go into this.
Just go all in.
Go all in. Why not? So I decided, you know what? Let's go for it. So that's how I went from aspirant fashion designer to Jedi Knight.
Super, super, super. I love these stories, man. These little stories are so cool. They're so cool. How we all got here, right? Across the countries, across the time zones, how we all managed to get where we are today.
I think Robin was still in there. Robin, did you want to jump in there?
Yeah. I can't say it was Jedi stuff to start with. It's definitely Robin Hood. It's the biggest thing that gets rammed down our throats in the UK is Robin Hood. It doesn't matter what form of the old school Flynn films, all the way up to I think the most modern one's got an American actually playing Robin Hood. So there's that kind of hero comes from nothing, supports everybody, that sort of thing, and then.
Absolutely.
Being honest, I loved all the Jedi stuff, full stop. But it's only recently I love all sci-fi stuff, and then that stupid lot came out with Andor, and it just woke everything back up. Even though that particular series didn't have anything to do with Jedi's at all, it was much more about the normal person fighting back without the wizardry. It kind of woke me up, and then I found you guys by accident online. And I just thought, oh my God, excuse the language if you like are religious and that. I mean, I'm religious a bit, but anyway, I just thought, oh, there's loads of people who like this, and I'm not such a weirdo because I love talking about this stuff. And when I talk with my mates, they all think I'm batshit crazy. So like that's the reason how I came here. But but I think I'll be honest. I don't know about whether I'm going to be a Jedi Knight or I'm going to be here for years and all that. I just like the vibe. I like what you guys say. I'm finding it a bit more difficult to put everything into practice because it's very zenny. And I'm not gonna lie, when people are twats, I'm not very zenny with them. I like to meet them with the fire they give me. So I'm having to work a lot on looking at that humanity rather than the your I don't like your behaviours. But I'm still hanging in. I ain't left. So I'm just gonna do my I'll try my best. But I
Mm,
enjoy the conversations and how everyone flows. So that's
perfect.
it really.
Awesome. Awesome.
Nice,
Awesome.
nice, nice, nice,
Cool,
nice.
cool. Good, guys. That's nice. I'm gonna move on to the next slide unless anybody else has a quick one they want to throw in there, just so that we can kind of keep it rolling at this stage. So, Mike, I'll read this one out, which basically says, as we reflect on those beginnings, which element of the Jedi philosophy felt most meaningful to you? So I guess what stuck? I mean, that's a very standard question. Why'd you stick with it, and what just stayed with you, particularly when it came to the philosophical Jedi path, those inspirations? Whoever wants to jump in can go ahead. If nobody does, then
Why?
I might jump in.
Yeah, and why don't anyone there?
No, no, I think I lost you guys for a second. Are you okay, Mike? You good?
No,
Yeah,
I
no, all
see
cool.
people moving, can't hear. Oh, there we are.
Fair enough. I see in the comments, I see Jason wrote service, helping those who cannot help themselves, which I agree with as well. I mean, that's a key thing for a lot of people, service. I mean, it is sort of helping when help is needed. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be making these grand missions to sort of save the world in one way or another. Sometimes it's small deeds are exactly the things that make it work, that make a community work. And so I agree with that
Mm.
100%. That service is probably one of the biggest parts of the philosophy that still catches my eye at this stage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the whole idea of knight is one of service, from what I understand and from my own perspective. Yeah, service, service.
Hmm.
What drew me in, and it obviously drew in some others here, was the whole idea of that journey. That hero's journey, the different interpretations, different flavors of the hero's journey. That's what I love. That's what I love. The whole idea that we are traveling, and that we are growing. Each of us are growing independently, but we're all on that Jedi inspired journey.
Hmm.
Let
I think
Let's hear what somebody else.
Chris wrote in chat, I think being able to engage the shadowy part of life, as Robin said, dealing with
Mm.
twats, is a big part of authentic practice.
Yeah, absolutely,
You're gonna
absolutely.
you'll get better. You'll get better with it, Robin. Trust me. You will learn in a very short amount of time how to deal with twats
Well,
on a
and
different level.
if
But
I may,
but
Aether also said something I think is important to Mike's point of everyone has a different flow. Everyone has a different vibe. And they said the action of non-action, being able to step away from an experience, keep your maybe emotional or spiritual boundaries, your energetic calm, and keep your own peace, right? That is,
mm,
for some people, I'd say that's almost the consular answer is keep a bit of distance, observe, report, maybe not interfere, but keep context, keep an eye on, okay, this person, right, is I'm watching this person, I'm seeing them, they're an annoying twat, but they don't mean any necessarily like harm necessarily. They're engaged because maybe they're acting out of pain, maybe they're acting out of insecurity, and being able to judge, okay, this person is being a very loud twat, and yet they're not necessarily a threat, versus, okay, this person is a loud twat and they could become a problem. Maybe action is necessary. And I think some people, yeah, their best place, their best goal is just keeping that context, keeping aware of this person is a problem, this person is loud, they're not a problem. Don't worry about that. And then, oh no, I think that I think that
I've
silence
got to
is
say something.
action.
I love all of you, but it's twat. It's twat. Twat. I've got to correct you because I don't want you coming to Britain and saying that word like that. It's twat. It's
Twat,
very
sorry.
important
I
you get
was
it
with
right.
you.
When you come to Britain, say it right. Thank you. Bye bye.
No, thank you, thank you. I appreciate the correction. My American is getting in the way.
It is.
Cheers.
It's happened to the best of us. Darcy, you wanted to jump in there?
Um, which elements of the Jedi philosophy felt most meaningful for you? It was always the aspect of passing on what you learned. Of course, early on, I was very much receiving information, so it was very much ignorance yet knowledge was always at the forefront. But I was accepting a lot of information, and then eventually, it's like, okay, well, once I became a knight myself, I was like, okay, now what? And that's when I started getting into my writings and taking on students of my own and all that. Um, yeah, just a bunch of hands lifting each other up. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
Support.
Mhm. Good. I was
Robin,
just
that
reading.
was fantastic, man.
No,
Yeah, I was just
you know,
reading.
mate. I can't let them go to Britain like that. You know that, Mike. You know I don't have to say this
I
twice.
know.
I just wanted to say about this is a bit global southy. This, I recognise the twinning, which is like a master and apprentice, but you've also got this community where you have knowledge passed out to everybody, and and learning is done collectively, and that is really attractive to me. It's a very global south way of doing things, and it's a way that Europe used to do things many, many years ago before governments, officials, and all sorts of organisations got in the way of direct knowledge being passed among people and communities. So that's the other thing I like is the being able to bounce ideas, discuss things. Nothing's off topic. You can discuss it, work it around. Then you voices of experiences, voices of inexperience, or all things you can learn off. So I like this community learning. I think that's. I don't know what that means in all your sections, but I like that.
I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, the one thing that you'll find within various Jedi communities is that there's always something that you can learn from someone. And there's going to be a lot of different types of teaching styles or passing of information, different styles. But I mean, there's going to be something that you're going to pick up and be able to adapt to yourself and adapt to your own life in the way that you want to use it. Mike, I think I'm going to move on to this next slide. Is that okay?
Yeah. For me, it's
Okay.
fine if everyone's
Good.
okay with it.
Let's pop the next one on. How have those early inspirations shaped the way you define what being Jedi means for you personally? I mean, it's a good question.
Yeah, it's a good question. Maybe we've answered it a little bit, but yeah, I mean, if I jump in, for me, it was a whole idea of, as I said, the journey, right? It's a whole idea of constant, constant checking, constant trying to push ourselves onwards or uncovering. You can either say it as improving yourself, or you can say it's uncovering your true self, whichever way you want to phrase it. You know, this is an important part of my path, right? And obviously that service element, man. Obviously that as well, right? Obviously. All right, I'm going to shut up. Somebody else step in.
Don't worry about it. I think we got a lot of, I think we have actually a lot of slides. We may not be able to get through all of them, but I want to push through some of these slides toward when you see a question that really draws your attention, then go ahead and jump in. If not, then just let it go. Let's move on. Let's see. We already hit that one. Oh, let's go into daily practice and habits. This is one of my favorites. Let's start off with the first slide in there. Which practices, whether physical, reflective, or creative, form the heart of your routine? And again, I mean, I know some people have 1,000 of them, but we try to keep it a little short. And I think I'll go first. I mean, for me, I have a very sort of set routine when it comes to my Jedi inspired practice, and it usually revolves around what I deem as five daily meditations. And that's something I've spoken with or I've typed with Chris about, and I think I've sort of hit a lot of other people on that as well. I mean, they're my five go-tos. They're an everyday thing. They're non-negotiables. And usually they're not in order. I mean, of course, there's meditation, and various types of meditation, but in general, doing some form of whether it be empty meditation, whether it be mindful meditation, um, any form of meditation where you just kind of try to stop things. And slow the world down and kind of let sort of that awareness back in. That's an automatic for me. The second is a moving meditation. Moving meditations can again range from almost anything to doing Tai Chi, doing yoga flows. I play a lot with my hang drum. So I will play with the hang drum as well as a moving meditation, but that gets me going. I'll practice Arabic or Arabic or calligraphy. That keeps me going as well. The third is an air meditation. Probably some people call it like a floating meditation, but I call it air meditation, which is basically breath work. I mean, if you're unfamiliar with that, it's just breath work. So an air meditation to me is just breath work, and it can be different types of breath work that I might go through, but that is something that I'll try to ease into my day one way or another. The fourth, probably the fourth type of meditation that I may go into is a sort of mantra meditation. With mantra, this could be anything from chanting, it could be associated with litanies, where you're using affirmations. You're trying to get your mind and your spirit kind of in sync with one another, and that's something that's really really important to me as well. I mean, but those are sort of core basics that I'll get into on my side. And then I think, what do we have? We had meditation, empty meditation, we had air meditation, we had moving meditation, we had mantra meditation. And then after that, I think that I get into some sort of martial movements as well. So there's some physical activity associated with it. Um, and that's also a big part of my routine. So, I mean, that's my basic. Those are my go-tos pretty much every single day. Um, what about you guys? Is there anything that's kind of the heart of your practice, your go-tos?
There's a little silence. All right. Let me fill in. Let me fill in the silence. Let me just fill in the little silence. In me. So me and Antwoine, we're in contact daily, right? We're in contact daily, so we share a lot. We share a lot, and we integrate a lot of what each other's doing into our dailies, right? For me, that's seated. I start my day with 30 minutes seated meditation, right? That's really important for me. Sometimes it goes to 20, but usually it's a 30-minute. And I really love that, right? That's really important for me. When it comes to, obviously, martial arts, I'm a martial arts practitioner, martial arts coach. So that's really, really important, right? That's so important. And within that we have movement. Obviously, you have movement, you have physical exercise, all right, keeping fit and all that. That's really important. We have the breath work, that air meditation that Antwoine was talking about. All of that is a big part of my martial art. Also the roughness of it. I need the chaotic part, the sparring, the punching, the grappling, all of that, all of the rough stuff is a big part of my routine. Is a big part of my practice too. My career, I'm a teacher. I'm a school teacher, so that idea of service goes into my career as well. And then there's all the little things, right? There's all the little things like hot and cold showers in the morning, intermittent fasting, the food that I choose to eat, and the food which I choose to reject. All of that is a part of my dailies, man. And again, I'm going to shut up.
I think defenders had their hand up for a bit. I want to know what they think.
Go ahead.
Or maybe they hit it. I don't know.
Oh, there we go. Defender, you're in
there
there.
we go.
Oh, there.
I had to unmute again. Yeah, I'm a big lightsaber guy. That's kind of how I got into Jediism. I started with doing the lightsaber stuff, and then I'm like, oh, look, there's like real life Jedi like people. So that's what kind of got me into it. But yeah, so yeah, it's very physical for me, and not only that, it's important to exercise and make sure that my body is in good condition, because I definitely can't fight if I run out of air, or if I don't have the stamina, and I can't be of service either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. As it's been said, and as it was said yesterday, we have to take care of ourselves. This self-care. We have to be in a good condition. The better condition we in ourselves that we are in, the more we can help other people, in all aspects. Yeah, very true, very true. Other voices. What's part of your routines? People, share with us, if you wish.
Robin also has their hand up. I don't know if that's on purpose or not. Oh,
Yeah.
and
I do meditation, but I find it really hard because it's very hard for me. All this, you can't think of anything. I just really awful. But somebody else mentioned, and this is what I do. I do journaling for 5 minutes every
Perfect.
morning to
That's
empty
great.
the brain out. And once I've done that, the rest of the day gets way better. But meditation makes
Oh,
me
yeah.
calm.
Right.
But that's a practice I've incorporated, and I do a bit of lightsaber practice as well.
Good.
Yeah, all cool.
I think I had Ether on chat, and I'll just read that out. I am the opposite. I do not have a set routine, as observing my energy levels in the present moment oftentimes requires a different approach to what I do. That's fair. Energy levels vary throughout, so it's important to listen to one's vessel and adapt, and that's key. And we can't. That's one of the reasons why I kind of have a few different things that I'm able to get into during my day, because not always I'm going to be totally vibing with meditation. And not always am I going to be vibing with breath work or anything of that nature. But I'm always trying to have different modalities available, different things that I can do to sort of keep me in that flow, or keep me in that sort of aware state that matches my energy throughout the day. So, I mean, there's no right or wrong thing or any sort of set practice that everyone has to do, but it's good to have a lot of different flavors that you can draw upon when you need to draw upon them. So, I mean, fair enough. That's great. We do have to adapt.
Absolutely. And I've just seen pop up. I just seen pop up something that Effa said as well, right? And this is going out to Robin. The idea that meditation is about stopping your thoughts. Yeah, no, not really, It's about observing. It's about observing your thoughts, right? It's about observing, acknowledging, and letting go. Yeah, cool. Yeah, just stick with it. Just stick with it, man. Stick with it. Stick with it.
Whatever you
Cool.
can.
Well, and
Good. Should I roll? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm a big believer that people require different things. And part of my practice, and I know that this is probably going to be unusual for most, I follow greatly with the framework of the specializations. Consular Guardian, I consider myself a bit of a sentinel in that I try to strike that balance. But I think bringing back that thing of, some people, their best thing is to take inaction. Their highest method is more cerebral, more meditative, sitting in silence, letting the thoughts go. For others, they might be more physical, more guardian focused. Their highest action is to take action, do something, move. Or like Mike was saying, get into the viscerality of the physical martial practice, get hit, swing the saber, be physical. And that's transcendent. And I think for some people, the act of movement is the most transcendent. And for others, stillness is the most transcendent. And to Red's point, it's not right or wrong. And your point of, it's not right or wrong. Different people might just require different things. And I think the framework, the Jedi framework, it gives that multitude of options that you can find what works best for you. That's my take, at least.
Exactly. I think that everyone's kind of saying a very similar thing. Everyone's saying the same thing, that okay, we have different things that work for us, and we can connect and enter into whatever that state is that we're looking for. We can there are different entry points. So not everyone has to have the same lane to get there. And so some people may do it through martial, some people may do it through meditation, some may do it through journaling. But the ideal of finding a lane and an access point to get to that underlying sort of greater flow, I mean, that's going to be authentic to the person. And you just have to kind of taste test until you find what works well and what gets you quickly in that flow. Everyone's going to have a different way of doing it.
I think taste testing is a really good way to put it, because it's kind of the thing of you don't know you like it until you try it. And
exactly.
It's like, oh, I tried a little bit of it, I didn't like it, tried a little bit more, it grew on me. And another thing, try it, still don't like it, or absolutely love it. But you got to try. Well, maybe not try, you have to do.
I think Sedanaku had her hand up somewhere. Are you in there?
Yes. So, and congratulations on getting the name right. So many people are like, "How do you say that?" They won't even try.
I've had a lot of practice. I say your name often.
So, I think really for me, it's a lot of creativity. I'm over here and I'm shuffling my Jedi Sextant deck. We're going to talk about that later, but I do this. I created the game. I created the card deck. I wrote material. I've written, like, you guys can find my books everywhere. Not that they really sell, but you can find my books. And I've that's how I've contributed back. And I find that by engaging in those things, which would be more of a creative form, I'm able to more explore how there are different angles to things. Like all the training programs I've ever put together, I go back through all of it every single time someone answers a question. I will read what they have to say and then I'll think back, do I have any new answers? How can I incorporate what they've said to me about what their thoughts are?
Exactly.
And it all stems first from the creative form of the routine.
Exactly.
Absolutely. All right. Dude, let's go on to the next question.
Let's go into the next session. Maybe we might even want to skip a couple on this one. Let me see. I just want to take a look at the chat. Yeah, there we go. Let's go ahead and move into the next one.
Just a reminder, you only have 4 more minutes before our next person.
Okay.
Oh my gosh,
well then
4 minutes.
Welcome to the Jedi community.
let's just
Justin,
go-
this is how it goes, right? This is how it goes.
that means that Michael, I think we might need to close it out.
Yeah,
But we
okay.
have
All
next
right.
time in theory.
No.
We'll have another fireside chat.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
I mean, then let's look at it like that. Michael, do you want to say a couple words before we start to end this one, or give me an idea?
Well, what I just want to say, is thank you for everyone, right? Thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone for joining us, right? This conversation has been great. It's been a little bit chaotic, but that's cool, right? Because that's what conversation is. That's what conversation is. And I'm just really looking forward to and really hoping that we got that episode 2 coming up, because this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning, The more we can rap with each other, the more we can share, the more we can learn, And we just bind together, man. We just bind together. All good. Antwoine, what do you want to say to wrap it up, brother?
I mean, I know we had a lot of content, a lot of questions that we wanted to go through, but I mean, we work with an hour. An hour is what we have, but it's not the amount of time that we have for these sort of discussions. It's the energy that's created via these types of discussions. It kind of gets the juices flowing, gets people talking and creating that sort of that really addictive, attractive energy of talking about things that we're passionate about, and ideas that we are passionate about. And the greatest thing that I can say is keep it going. I mean, continue to talk about these things, continue to explore them. There are no bad questions. In fact, the practice of whether it be Jedi realism or being Jedi inspired is a practice of asking questions and continuing to ask the right questions. So, I mean, the strongest thing that I can say on my side is that I really appreciate everyone coming together, or at least supporting us in this particular way. I appreciate IJF hosting the entire thing. This will not be the last conversation that we will have. And I'm really hoping that you guys come away with having a better understanding that we're similar. We have differences, but we are similar.
Okay. The sibling Jedi, let's call it. Let's call it and give the space over to the next person, whoever that is.
That'll be Gabriel. I believe Gabriel's next on this one.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in and waking us up here.
Hey!
Yeah, it's been great. I love it. All right, so I'm going to hit stop the recording and then we're going to hit it again.
Okay.